City of Stevens Point Transportation Commission meeting, recorded December 12, 2022.
So welcome everybody. I'm working my way into more of the role of chairman. One of the things I did is, I stopped by and I talked to the mayor and I talked to the city attorney, looking for guidance on making sure that things were organized in whatever fashion the city had prescribed. And what the city attorney, Logan, had told me is there isn't a great deal of formality required, but he did suggest following Robert's Rules of Order. And so I've been leaning into that. I've got one of the books describing Robert's Rules of Order, and so as I work through that, it causes me to question maybe some of the things that we've been doing as maybe a matter of tradition, and that maybe we should explore and consider bringing more in line with Robert's Rules of Order. One of those things is the first thing that we usually cover, and that's the minutes from the previous meeting. Oftentimes we're looking for a motion for approval on those, and not really something that's necessary to do. And typically, the way that can be dispatched is simply by me announcing that the minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed, and ask if there's any correction to the minutes. And if nobody has any corrections, then I'll simply indicate that the minutes are approved. That's the guidance. So it's just a number of things in moving through the guidance from Roberts that I just like to see us maybe begin to follow, as was suggested. And I think it'll also smooth out our meetings and just make things a bit easier for us to be able to get to the nitty-gritty of the business. The other thing I'm going to suggest is that approval of the financial claims report doesn't quite seem to be the right course of action. Typically, the way that would be handled by a body as ours was simply to receive the report, take in the information, and if people have questions and need clarification, we can gather that. So maybe there's less formality around that as well. The real nub of what we're getting at is, when there is some new business, and for instance, what we're doing this evening and taking a look at the route that's being proposed, and then having any type of debate or discussion about that route, and then ultimately voting on whether or not we approve that route. And our recommendation is simply an assistance to the council to say, yeah, we've taken a look at it. Makes sense to us in our role here, and the council then has can feel good that somebody's put eyeballs on these things and pass them along and in good faith and to help them do their business. So that's my comments for this evening. But again, we can kind of work into that, and over time I'll continue to clarify and share information. I think I'll probably maybe condense some of the guidance from Roberts. I'll condense any particular guidance, additional guidance I might get from the mayor or from Logan, and and then pass that along to everybody to serve as kind of a guidepost for our meetings. Regarding the holidays, appreciate the suggestion of not trying to wedge too much in what's a very busy week. Thank you for that, and we'll figure out a time for getting together and showing some appreciation for the staff. I guess we didn't do a roll call, and so Talon, I would like you to do that if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. So Carolyn Peterson,
Here.
Greg Kepfel,
Here.
Tom Bertram,
Present.
Alder Kneebone,
Here.
Alder Christensen,
Here.
Nicole Lisney is not present, and Jessa Mitchie, so not present.
Thank you for that. Jessica or
Jessa.
Jessica. Hey, with that, let's work through the minutes. The minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes? And so, I think a fair expectation is, Talon sends these out a week ahead of time, and so we all have an opportunity to read them and look them over. And so when we come to the meeting, if we have an objection, you can declare that. If there is an objection and we can then simply talk about, I think the point was this versus that. We can clarify, make any adjustments, and if need be, vote, and then and move forward from there. But oftentimes, and typically, the objections are just discussed. A vote isn't taken as long as agreement can be reached, and they're modified, and we move on. So if there are no corrections to the minutes, if there are no corrections, the minutes are approved. And so that's the way that we'll proceed with the minutes from previous meetings. Moving to reports, does anybody need any clarification on the financial claims report? Anybody have any questions or concerns or need any clarification? I'll be happy to do that. Okay. Clarification or discussion needed there. And now we have space available on the agenda for any public comments on plans for an additional route in 2023. This is something we've already approved, the ability to go ahead and set that up and create the plans for it, and that's been done, and we can get to that in more detail in a moment, but offering this opportunity, if anybody has any, I don't see that we have much in terms of audience outside of our normal group here, and nobody's appeared here, so I think we'll just continue to move on. So let's move to the discussion of let's move to the approval of the plan for the proposed route number 8. In order to do that, we need a motion, right? A motion is what allows the committee to then begin the debate process and the discussion process. So the motion, the idea behind a motion is that it opens up the discussion. And then we have the discussion, the back and forth, and then we move from there. From there, we can have a vote on approval and so on. We don't need, so our motion is not the approval of the whatever's in front of us. Motion simply initiates the discussion. It just initiates the debate. A second of the motion is not an agreement with the motion. Second of the motion is, okay, let's just get on with it and start the discussion. Anybody like to move to approve plan for the proposed route number 8? Okay. And so as we enter into this process, we want to be very specific on the language that we use when we create a motion, because that becomes part of the formal record. And ultimately, when we do hold the vote, it is on that specific statement. So the motion most appropriately would be move to approve the plan for proposed route number 8.
I'll move to approve the plans for the additional route number 8 as the order route.
Thank you for that. We have a second.
Tom Bergeron will second.
For that. Okay. Now, so the motions to approve the additional route, proposed route number 8, has been moved, seconded, and so let's enter into the discussion. Any questions, comments, clarification that anybody needs?
This is Carolyn. This is gonna be a permanent route, right?
Correct, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it'll follow the same schedule as our other year-round routes.
Mary, you had a question as well?
Yeah, I was just curious, how long will it take to run the route? It's a little, does it start at the transfer center downtown and then just go out to Aspirus and come back?
Correct, yeah. It goes out to Marshfield Clinic and comes back.
Oh, okay, it's
it
whoever's out there.
Right. It's a 30-minute route,
Okay.
so the approximate drive time is 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay.
To get out and back, so 10 out, 10 back approximately.
Thanks.
When do you expect the route to be implemented?
The goal for implementing the route would be when the university lets out a full session, so around the end of May. So hopefully right away, like because the purple route doesn't operate when the university operates, there's some physical barriers that could possibly get out of our way, getting bus stops, things like that. But for the most part, that stuff should be under control, and we should be able to start it that Monday after school lets out on that Friday of finals week.
Any other discussion, comments, or clarification as needed?
Question as a follow-up to what you were just asking, the implementation. If you're waiting until the school year lets out for it to go, when fall happens again, will there be of concern?
You mean with the purple route starting back up?
Yeah.
No, there's no concern there. It's just a good time for us staffing wise, as well as it's a good time to put holes in the ground for bus stops. But So that's when we're looking to start it. There may be some adjustments. We work with SGA on the purple route, but for the most part, that route's not going to change. We really just try to optimize that to serve the students as best we can. Even though anybody can get on that purple route, it is public.
Thank you.
Well, with that, I think we'll vote. The question is on the adoption of the motion that the plans for the additional route, number 8, be approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, the ayes have it, and the motion carries.
No.
All right.
No other comment.
All right, thank you. Well, I think our agenda is completed, but I'll offer opportunity if anybody wants to bring anything up that perhaps we need to discuss as we go forward. Do you have any questions, comments? I mentioned in the message that Talon passed along from me last week that maybe February would be a nice time to do something in the way of an appreciation recognition. So keep that in mind, please, and we can talk about it next time we get together. Our next meeting date is set for January 9th.
Mary has a question.
Mary has a question. Yes?
I think we ought to make Tom's cat a member of the committee because the kitty seems to be always around. So I think it should be an honorary member with no voting ability. Just honorable mention.
As you say that, though, Tom always kind of looks toward the cat before he makes a vote. So I'm wondering if he's...
Only an advisory role.
Yeah, advisory only. There it is. It always seems to, you get its little tail or something in a picture at some point. So it definitely should be acknowledged.
So acknowledged. And what's your cat's name, Tom?
Phoenix, like the city.
Oh, Phoenix. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So our next meeting is set for January 9th at 4:45. And so look forward to seeing everybody then. Thank you for your attendance and participation tonight and your service to the committee. And hope everybody has a terrific, terrific holiday. Enjoy Christmas, enjoy New Year's, and more than anything, be safe. This time of year, lots going on with the weather changing and a lot of people out on the roads. But be safe, have a tremendous holiday. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you on January 9th. Meeting's adjourned.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.